Hey guys, JamesMCD's Reviews here. Welcome to another episode of the Cinematic Bucket List series. And today I'm going to be talking about Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice, directed by Zack Snyder and released in 2016. This is the second movie that I watched in preparation for Zack Snyder's Justice League, premiering this Thursday on HBO Max. I had never actually seen this movie in the theater when it came out. I had heard all the reviews though. If you don't know what this movie is, basically it takes place right after the events of Man of Steel. We get a glimpse of the ground level of what was going on in Metropolis when Superman and Zod were having that big epic showdown that was like leveling pretty much half the city. And in the center of this is Batman, played by Ben Affleck, who has started to grow a concern that, you know, along with the rest of the world, who thinks that, oh, well, Superman is alien, he's not from here, he has all this power, he could wipe us out if he wanted to, he needs to be destroyed and everything like that. So Batman develops this like deep seething hatred for Superman. Meanwhile, Lex Luthor, played by Columbus, is basically trying to form this really convoluted and complicated plan to, you know, frame Superman for murdering a bunch of people and get Superman to kill Batman, and it's just a lot of nonsense that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. And also somewhere in there is Wonder Woman and Doomsday and setting up the Justice League and all that other stuff. So before I start, I should preface this by saying that I watched the extended edition of the movie. Like I said, I never saw this in theaters, and the theatrical cut wasn't on HBO Max, so this was the only one that I could find. The extended edition still has a lot of problems. Like, for one, it's trying to be so many other movies except Batman vs. Superman. Like, we only get Batman vs. Superman for about like 10 minutes towards the third act, and it's not even really that exciting because all throughout the movie, like, we have those two like conflicting ideologies of Batman versus Superman, Clark Kent versus Bruce Wayne, both saying all these things, which, to be fair, like, they're saying like, oh, Superman is, you know, living above the law, and, you know, he is a vigilante and he hurts people, the same people that he's trying to save, when honestly Batman does the exact same thing. But I mean, the final battle at the end when the two of them fight isn't even about any of that. It's just, oh, Batman, you know, sees some news footage of like the UN being bombed and people thinking that Superman did it, and he's trying to kill Superman now, and Superman's only there because Lex Luthor kidnapped his mom, and it's just not as interesting and it's not as exciting. Like, but I mean, back to the point I was making, because that's like a whole other rabbit hole. Like, the movie is trying to be so many other different types of movies. Like, it's trying to be, you know, a sequel to Man of Steel, a Batman origin movie, a setup for Wonder Woman, a setup for Justice League, Batman vs. Superman, the death of Superman, introducing all these different plot threads, which, looking back, is funny considering, like, you know, half of these things aren't even going to be used in the future. All these things are just like set up, trying to catch up to Marvel, but they're doing it, you know, they're doing all this stuff in 2 movies, trying to build a cinematic universe when, you know, you don't need to do that yet. Like, you can still have your setup. Marvel does it fantastically because they take their time with it, and, you know, they let each superhero have their own story before also being like, oh, here's how it ties into the whole rest of the universe and here's what it's setting up for. Like, that works, but like trying to do all that stuff in one movie, like, this is like at least 6 movies worth of really good, interesting material, and they're just cramming it all into one movie, and it just feels so compact. It's one of the many aspects that makes this movie feel ungodly long. Like, and I'm not even talking about by extended edition standards, I'm just talking about in general. Like, this movie is so goddamn long. Not just because of the amount of stuff that it's cramming in, but the amount of unnecessary fucking slow-mo. I don't know, like, I'm sure it was a creative choice. I'm sure it was supposed to be like meaningful or something, but I'm sorry, after a while, seeing so many like slow motion shots of shit just got really old and just felt like, it's like, okay, I get it. Can you move it up? Can you actually put this in rewind? I don't need to see that, or fast forward. Don't need to see this in slow motion. And also, while I'm talking faults, Jesse Eisenberg is a really great actor, and Lex Luthor is one of the most iconic Superman villains of all time. But the two together really doesn't mesh well. Like, I mean, I get he's supposed to be, I don't know, Lex Luthor's son or Lex Luthor Jr. or whatever, but Christ, was Jesse Eisenberg miscast. He is such a cartoon in this movie that it is like, it's distracting. It honestly is distracting. He feels like he's come and like broken in from a completely separate movie with a completely separate tone, and he just does not fit. It's like Tom Holland and Cherry, which, let me know if you want me to review that at all, because I've got some shit to say. Another problem that I found was the movie suffers kind of from third act syndrome that I had the same issue with Man of Steel and Wonder Woman and Suicide Squad. The thing these movies had in common is that their visual effects for the first two acts of the movie looked really good. They were really solid and really cool looking, and they definitely elevated the action. But then in the third act, they kind of just, I don't know if they just blew their budget or they were on a time crunch or what, but the visual effects in that final battle do not look very good. Like, it's just a lot of like CG splooge all over the place, and it's a lot of strobe lights and bright flashes, and you know, the fucking CGI Doomsday bouncing around, blasting everything. It just really did not look that good. Love the effects throughout the rest of the movie, and I guess while we're talking about positives, the action throughout the movie is pretty solid. It's awesome and cool looking when we actually get to it. Another thing that I liked, the acting. I thought the acting across the board was pretty good. I thought Ben Affleck was a really good Batman. It sucks that he's not going to be Batman going forward, because he was really cool. I like his sort of more like, you know, older take on Batman. He's a lot gruffer, and you know, he's definitely seen some shit. He's a bit, you know, of a psycho, but I mean, what guy who dressed like a bat wouldn't be? And you know, you do kind of see where he's coming from a sense, because you know, if an alien who could, you know, shoot laser beams and fly suddenly came down to Earth, I'm sure a lot of people would be concerned as well. With the actors, I thought Jeremy Irons really worked as Alfred. Is again keeping with that much, you know, older, more experienced Alfred, but he's also kind of like the cool Alfred. I mean, it's Jeremy Irons. You can't go wrong with Jeremy Irons. I thought Henry Cavill was really good, is still really good as Superman. Gal Gadot, for the like small bit of screen time that she has, is really, you know, she makes an impact, and you know, if I were watching this in the theater, she would definitely get me excited for her movie. But it's just the bogged down story and the convoluted plot and just the uninteresting like development throughout the characters that brings this movie down a significant level for me. But yeah, overall, the movie was not as bad as I feared that it would be. It definitely has a lot of problems, and I wouldn't say that it's as good as Man of Steel, but I mean, I've sat through much worse, and you know, tomorrow I'm gonna be watching Joss Whedon's Justice League, so this movie could have been a lot worse. The stupid things are still stupid, the convoluted things still make no sense, but at the end of the day, you know, like I said, it could have been a lot worse. So going to my ranking, I'd probably have to give this as somewhere between a 2.5 and a 3 out of 5. But anyway, that does it for this video. Let me know down in the comments if you've seen Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. What are your thoughts on it? Is the extended edition better than the theatrical edition? Let me know. And tune in next time when I'm going to be taking a look at Joss Whedon's Justice League, or Justice League as people have called it. Look forward to that. Until then, be sure to like, subscribe, ring the notification bell so you can stay up to date on what I'm posting. Follow me on all my social media, subscribe to my main channel. All that stuff will be in the description. Thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you later.